Okay.
Good. Okay, we are live now. Very good morning, all.
Good morning.
And it is a matter of sheer delight that we are going to celebrate the 71st anniversary of our Constitution. So we have a very distinguished personality among us, Honorable Justice Shri Vijender Jain, former Chief Justice of Punjab and Haryana High Court, which will throw light on this very specific occasion. So we adopted this constitution on 26th November 1949, which came into effect on 26th January 1950, which is observed as Republic Day. Originally, it contained 395 articles in 22 parts, and which contains 145,000 words, which is the lengthiest written constitution of any sovereign country. So it is a dynamic creation of our lawmakers, and which is a supreme law of our country. And every citizen and government have to abide by the constitution. So we have a preamble as well, which is the brief introductory statement in a document which explains its philosophy and objectives. So we have a parliamentary form of government, which is bicameral legislature system, which means we have lots of discussions and deliberations before making any legislation or law. We have a unique blend of rigidity and flexibility. Our constitution contains a unique blend of rigidity and flexibility, which means our constitution has provisions to amend any legislation according to our needs, and we have fundamental duties and rights and directive principles of state policy, which are the instructions to the legislature and executive. We have a provision of adult suffrage. That means when we attain the age of 18, we have right to vote and can elect our leader. And we have our independent judiciary, which ensures proper functioning and enforcement of various provisions. Now, I would like to hand over to my worthy principal to formally welcome our distinguished personality. Over to Principal, ma'am.
Ma'am, mic on करें please.
Thank you, Mr. Kulwant. Honorable Justice Shri Vijender Jain ji, and at the outset, I extend very warm greetings on 71st anniversary of the adoption of the Constitution of India. It was 71 years ago on this very day that in the Central Hall itself, through the members of the Constituent Assembly, we, the people of India, adopted, enacted, and gave to ourselves this Constitution. It was in 2015, the 125th anniversary, birth anniversary of Baba Sahab Dr. Bhim Rao Ambedkar, that Government of India decided to celebrate November 26th as the Constitution Day every year. This is a commendable initiative to reiterate our gratitude to the chief architect of the Constitution. By the sheer wisdom, prudence, foresight, and diligence, the makers of our Constitution prepared a futuristic and vibrant document that reflects our ideals and aspirations on one hand and protects the future of all Indians on the other. The Constitution of India lies at the foundation of world's largest democracy, and this is the supreme law in the country's democratic framework, and it continuously guides us in all our endeavors. The Constitution is also the fountainhead of our democratic system of governance and our guiding light. the National Constitution of India is the longest constitution ever to be written by any country in the world. The Constitution of India declared India as a sovereign, socialist, secular, democratic republic. It declared justice for every Indian, liberty of thought and expression, equality and fraternity. These constitutional values are highlighted in the preamble of the Constitution, which can be referred as the preface that highlights the entire Constitution. The preamble states, "We, the people of India, having solemnly resolved to constitute India into a sovereign, socialist, secular, democratic republic, and to secure to all its citizens justice, social, economic, and political, liberty of thought, expression, belief, faith, and worship, equality of status and of opportunity, and to promote among them all fraternity, assuring the dignity of the individual and the unity and integrity of the nation." In our Constituent Assembly, this 26th day of November 1949, do hereby adopt, enact, and give to ourselves this Constitution. These constitutional values enshrined in the preamble, though seem very simple, but these carry very deep meaning. To make us understand the spirit behind these constitutional values, we have a very distinguished personality, Honorable Justice Shri Vijender Jain ji, former Chief Justice of Punjab and Haryana High Court, amongst us, who has very humbly accepted our invitation and acceded to our request. I feel honored to introduce our very revered Chief Guest, Shri Vijender Jain ji. Honorable Justice Shri Vijender Jain is a former Chief Justice of Punjab and Haryana High Court, acting Chief Justice of Delhi High Court, and Judge of Delhi High Court. He is also Chairperson of Uttarakhand as well as Haryana Human Rights Commission. At present, Sir is President of Bharatiya Gyanpeeth. He is President of Asia Pacific Jurist Association also. Sir practiced in Supreme Court of India and High Courts, primarily of Delhi High Court, in civil, constitutional, taxation, and company matters. Subsequently, he was appointed as a permanent judge of Delhi High Court. And after demitting his office as Chief Justice of Punjab and Haryana High Court, Sir started arbitration and conducted cases of international commercial arbitration in London Court of International Arbitration, Singapore International Arbitration Center, International Commercial Court of Arbitration Paris, and Dubai International Arbitration Court. Sir has done extensive work on domestic and international arbitration in the field of foreign investment, real estate, building and housing contracts, infrastructural contracts, disputes related to insurance, banking, and financial institutions, as well as hospitality industry. Sir has represented India in various international conferences and also participated in the conferences of international law associations. Sir has contributed and participated in many international symposiums and seminars dealing with human rights, alternate dispute redressal mechanism, private and public international law, and the applicability of international law into the municipal law. Sir, on behalf of entire faculty of Government College of Yoga Education and Health, I extend a very warm welcome to you, sir, and I'm really obliged for sparing your precious time out of your busy schedule and being with us this morning. We are really obliged, sir. We feel blessed with your gracious presence. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you, sir. Over to you, sir.
Thank you very much for very kind words of Mr. Kulwant Singh and Principal Dr. Sapnananda. First of all, when you sent me the invitation, I was a little stuck. I thought Constitutional Day and the College of Yoga, what is the correlation in it? But I think no activity, no human activity is divorced from constitution. And the constitution, the physical constitution of a human being or an Indian is also regulated under the constitution by right to life, Article 21. And right to life is not an empty right. Right to life has to be a right, meaningful right, with physical fitness, all medical facilities. And that's how the yoga becomes an important aspect of the constitutional guarantees under Article 21 for an Indian to have a robust life, to contribute to the productivity of this great country. You have summarized the essence of the constitutional values in your address. I would not like to use the legal language or the constitutional language because I know that the audience here are people who are associated to make the life of countrymen robust and healthy by imparting yoga education, which hitherto was considered only a domain if you go to the morning walk and have some yoga. But now, time has said that yoga has withstood the test of time, not only in India, but throughout the world. I got a photograph from a friend of mine from Brazil when they know that this program will take place. And they say how popular yoga is in Brazil. And therefore, right to health is one of the attributes of Article 21 of the Constitution of India. Right to health includes right of good health. Now, how to attain good health? Yoga is also one of the medium to attain that good health. Therefore, it was very relevant for any institution because all human activities in this country or elsewhere are governed by the philosophy, the value of the laws or the constitution which that country has. And it is fortunate for us. There will be a very few dozen countries, very few, who have such a long-standing constitution. Otherwise, you have witnessed in our neighborhood, elsewhere, in Asia, Africa, even in Europe or Latin America, constitution change with the change of power. There is no permanency with the constitutional values and ethos. But our constitution has withstood the test of time. Maybe there have been some aberrations here and there. Maybe there will be aberrations even in times to come. But now the constitution has become more stronger than it was before. And it is therefore in this context, you talked about the preamble. Now the preamble of the constitution in nutshell is the essence of the guiding principle, objectives, and values of the constitution. The values, when I say about values, what is the meaning of the values? Values which are universally accepted, which creates a humane, democratic, sensitive society in a country. That country must have a right to decide its own policies. So the concept of sovereignty, which comes in the preamble of the Constitution, reflects that we, the people of India, nobody else has given this. It is the people. We, the people of India, given unto ourselves this constitution, it's very important because the supreme law, constitution is the supreme law of the country. All other laws get their power from the constitution. All organs of the state, whether it is legislature, whether it is executive, whether it is judiciary, they all create their powers from the constitution as reflected. Therefore, everybody is bound by what is stated in the constitution. And it's a beautiful document. The always constitution, when some people say that our constitution, which has withstood 71 years of the practice, has, as a matter of fact, when I say withstood the test, because so many times some people, they try to see that the values of the constitutions are not there, or they try to belittle them. But the constitution has provided the mechanism as to how to withstand those oppressions. Now let me deal that basically what are these constitutional values to make the life of a citizen dignified, meaningful, which gives him sustenance in terms of economics, social, and political justice. It deals with sovereignty, social justice, secularism, democracy, the republican form of the Indian state, justice, liberty, fraternity, human dignity, and integrity of the nation. And apart from that, our founding father of the Constitution was very particular that India respects all the international treaties, international obligation to maintain peace and tranquility. It become a part of the international community which would like to have peace in the whole world, not for ourselves, because our motto has been Vasudev Kutumbakam, the whole universe is brotherhood. So the Constitution gives a human being dignity of existence, which is very important. And dignity of existence to a human being leads to the dignity of existence to a nation. We are not to be interfered by anyone else as a sovereign nation. That's what the right the Constitution gives to the citizen of this country. Another important aspect is when we talk of secularism, which the Constitution writes in Preamble, that India is not a theocratic state. It's not a religious state. And to my mind, the feeling or the concept of secularism as enshrined in our Constitution is Sarv Dharm Sambha. All religions are to be respected. The state does not interfere in the religion of any society, any people, or any group of people. That is the concept of secularism, because India is a multilingual, multiracial, heterogeneous society where hundreds of languages, different kind of culture, different kind of traditions, different kind of customs and usages are practiced. So our Constitution recognizes it is possible living in one country, but state does not interfere into the activities of their belief or religion as far as Constitution of India is concerned. We are a the Constitution also guarantees justice to all. And to ensure justice to the citizens, there is a separation of power. The legislature in its domain has got absolute power, what has been enshrined in the Constitution, which delineated, I don't want to go into that aspect, the schedule where the state has got power, where the parliament has got power, or where there are concurrent subject where both can legislate. But the legislature has got absolute power to make laws. Nobody can question that power. Because sometimes the debate is there in this country. Well, somebody is crossing the Lakshman Rekha. The judiciary is crossing the Lakshman Rekha or something. But I think that is what I say is sometimes misunderstood. Maybe some here and there some judgment comes which is not liking to somebody, or sometimes maybe an overreach. But the constitutional scheme is legislature has got power to legislate. But those laws which have been enacted by parliament or state legislature, they must satisfy the touchstone of the process of law as prescribed in the Constitution. Or if those laws offend any of the provision of the Constitution, the power to strike down those laws are vested with the judiciary. So it's a very fine jurisdiction which has been laid down in the Constitution of exercise of their powers by the legislature or by the judiciary. And this is an enormous power which the Constitution has given to the judiciary to see that no state organ, no executive authority, no legislature transgressed the limitation which has been provided in the Constitution as a right to the people of this country. If any law which hits any of the provisions of the Constitution or the freedoms and guarantees which have been enshrined in the Constitution, that is ultra vires of the scheme of the Constitution. And that is why the court strike those laws as unconstitutional. So this is the balance in the society which creates. And because I'm addressing the Chandigarh Yoga College, which is maybe with the other people of this college outside Chandigarh in other states. But when I came here as the Chief Justice, I was struck by a small plaque which was placed before court number 1 of the Chief Justice. It's still there. It, I think, created by the architect who built Chandigarh, and when the building was constructed, High Court building, Laka Usa. It shows scales. And one scale was very huge, very heavy. And the other side of the scale, it was a very tiny. So I watched it for a few minutes. And then I was explained that this scale, the heavier, very heavy scale, is the power of the state, the mighty power of the state. And the other side of that scale was the ordinary citizen of this country. But the scale was evenly balanced. And that was still a very small size of a weight. And that weight was demonstrated by courts. So that balancing of the power in the might of the state, the Constitution has created the institution of constitutional courts and the hierarchy of court. and the power of judicial review, which the court can strike down either any federal law or the state laws, not only by the Supreme Court, even by the High Court, which is a phenomenal power unparalleled in any other constitution of the world. So this creates a balance in governance of the state. Nobody is above law. The Chief Justice of India is not above law. The Prime Minister of this country is not above law. The President of the Republic is also not above law. It's different than the concept what we in the common law jurisprudence or like England, where king can do no wrong. But that concept is not available in this country. Everybody is answerable to law, and nobody is above law. That is the equality. That is the principle that this country is governed by rule of law, and it will remain so irrespective of fact, whatever be the circumstances, because now constitution and democracy has taken root in this country. And that is why you will see every time the collective decision of the people of this country results in taking country forward for its ultimate goal of creating social justice, justice for all in sphere of economic activity. Mahatma Gandhi said that this political freedom is incomplete if even in the eye of one Indian, in the corner of his eyes, there is a drop of tear, then this political freedom is meaningless. So the constitutional gives guarantee, constitutional gives mandate in the directive principle of state policy that our endeavor should be to achieve that economic freedom from exploitation, from concentration of wealth in few hands, from creating an egalitarian society where those who fought for the freedom of this country to make this constitution a constitution for the people to live in dignity can achieve that objective. It is a very good occasion when Sapna ji, you have thought of organizing this webinar on the Constitutional Day of this country, which previously was known as a Law Day. Now it has come as a Constitution Day. And Dr. B.R. Ambedkar, who was the president of the Constituent Assembly, he worked tirelessly in creating this document of historic and monumental importance. But preamble of this constitution was written by Jawaharlal Nehru. We cannot forget that part while we talk of the Constitution of India. And very few people might be knowing that Dr. B.R. Ambedkar was associated with all the deliberations of even formation of the Government of India Act 1935. Because before this constitution, Government of India Act 1935 was in operation, which was revoked when we adopted our own constitution. Therefore, I greet you all on this Constitution Day. I hope that India achieves the objectives set out under this constitution to have equality, human dignity, economic independence, and a great height which we will achieve in years to come. Thank you very much. And any questions, I'd like to answer.
I'm extremely grateful to our honorable sir for your precious and enlightening words, and how you correlated yoga and constitution. That was magnificent. And you have really diligently and judicially explained our constitution in such a comprehensive way. And before your enlightening words, Constitution was a complex phenomenon. So I would like to call upon our worthy principal to formally thanks our honorable sir. Over to ma'am.
मैम माइक ऑन कीजिए प्लीज.
Thank you so much, sir, for your words of wisdom and sharing your expertise about the Constitution in such a simple manner for the layman, in a very exhaustive and explicit manner that it seems so simple for a common man. Thank you so much, sir, for your words of wisdom. Kulwant, are there any questions in the chat box? Please check. Is there any query from the viewers? Kulwant, please check. Please unmute yourself, Kulwant.
Yes, ma'am. There's no question, ma'am.
So
Okay, Ji.
I take leave and thank you very much.
Sir, 1 minute,
Thank you.
sir. Sir, 1 minute, please. Sir, lastly, I would like to conclude the webinar by quoting Dr. B.R. Ambedkar's quote. He said, however good a constitution may be, if those who are implementing it are not good, it will prove to be bad. And conversely, converse is also true, that however bad a constitution may be, if those implementing it are good, it will prove to be good. So it's our duty, while celebrating the Constitution Day, to constantly strive to ensure that in implementing the same, it is one that will continue to prove to be good. So let us resolve that we, the people of India, will continuously strive to achieve the ideals of our Constitution and realize the dreams of millions of our fellow citizens. So with this, we conclude the webinar, and I congratulate the entire faculty of Government College of Yoga Education and Health for conducting this webinar and all the technical support provided by the staff of this college. And thank you so much, sir, for your gracious presence for this webinar. We are really indebted to you. And this is for the first time in the history of this college, perhaps, a person of such a stature has joined this college for this webinar and blessed us. And thank you so much, sir, for your gracious.
You enrolled me as a student of yoga.
Okay, sir. So we'll be honored. We'll be honored with your presence, sir. So it's your humbleness, your greatness. We are really indebted to you, sir. And thank you all the viewers for being with us this morning for this webinar. And have a great day. Thank you so much.
Thank you, everyone.